Good morning, everyone. I'm Sukritta Lersvananont, and today I would like to introduce you to the two art projects that I have completed, inspired by the modern and contemporary artists that we have studied. The first art project is what I named 16 October 2020. It is a mixed media artwork. My main idea is I want to create the art that reflect political and social issues similar to the YBA. And I drew inspiration mainly from Jake and Dinos Chapman, who created mixed media art using different mediums in one piece of artwork, including toy models. The main inspiration for me is Chapman's famous work, Hell, and the work that I saw myself when I travel abroad, Swings and Roundabouts for the Children, Yes, No, Pig Face. These artworks are about the violence of war, social issues, racism, and capitalism. With this concept in mind, I combined Chapman's idea with my personal experience. 2 years ago, on 16th October, I was in the group of protesters during the police attack at Siam Square, which I think is one of the most prominent events in my life as well as Thai society and politics. My goal for this project is to recreate what happened during the event by showing its locations as well as how the situation looked like while I escaped from the water cannon, chemical weapons, and tear gas. I also want to put in my own opinions and viewpoint of this event into the work. Here is my first initial design. I recognize that I would not be able to make very big and detailed artworks like Chapman, so I simplified the project by making a smaller piece and using objects that I can find in daily life instead. This is why I chose the tools as I listed below, including foam from foam box, toy models, glue, tissue tape, acrylic paints, pen brushes, and box cutter. Now onto the process. My first step is to create what would be the base of this artwork. I want it to look like the actual street, so I painted a piece of foam with gray and white acrylic paint. Here, as you can see, I painted the gray color on all sides that will be shown to the audience and used white color to create the light and signals on the street. Next, I cut out pieces of foam into different shapes in order to create the replicas of the location I ran past on that day, including MBK Shopping Center, Pathumwan Princess Hotel, and Chulalongkorn University. I draw the details on it, such as windows and glass, by using pencil, then painted with acrylic paints. The look of these models are based on night photos that I researched on the internet, and I also simplify some details because it is too difficult to portray and also to save the material, so these might not look exactly like the actual places. After I finished with the locations, I recreated the splash from water cannon with the same method, by using foam cutout and blue acrylic paintings. Then I added green acrylic painting on it to replicate the color of chemical weapons and color that the police used for marking the protesters on that day. Next, I recreated the protesters by painting small toy models with red color in order to make them look like they are attacked and injured. I drew inspiration to use dolls and toy models from Jake and Dinos Chapman's artworks. For example, Hell, as I mentioned before, Fuckface, and this piece called Kylie, which was made from the girl's toy. After I finished with all replica pieces, I assembled them and other toy models I found, such as soldiers, trees, and road signal together to recreate the event using glue and tissue tape. And here is the final result as well as the details and comparison with the inspiration. I try to put the pieces together in a way that shows how chaotic the event was and imply how I view the situation. I also want viewers to see the work and try to interpret it in their own way as well. Now we are moving on to the second project. It is 2 abstract poster color paintings on paper, which I named as Bed. My main inspiration for this project is Howard Hodgkin's associative abstract style. I think how he created abstract paintings from his own experience and impressions while still left some rooms for viewers' interpretation is interesting and can be used to convey my own emotions. And from the title, you might also be able to guess that my second inspiration is Tracy Emin's work, My Bed, which is the art about personal experiences and emotions. Therefore, I combine the concept of these 2 British artists together to create this project. My goal is to depict how I feel while lying in bed through experiments with abstract paintings. Bed is the first location, or what I want to refer to as landscape, that came to my mind, because it is the spot I spend most of my time per day. So I have come up with many thoughts, ideas, and emotions there. I also wanted to make 2 paintings to show the different impression of the situations. First is when I overthink or feel depressed, and second is when I am able to rest and feel happy. The process started by painting the frame similar to Hodgkin's artwork. I used the color gray to represent my bedroom floor or the empty space surrounding my bed. Then I painted the background of both paintings with the color blue, which is the color of my bed sheet. I want the background to represent the space of my bed, which is where all the thoughts and emotions happened. Next is the main subject of this artwork. I painted the associative abstraction that portrays negative feelings on the first piece. The colors I use here are what people generally associated with depression and sad feelings, such as black, gray, brown, and dark purple. However, when I painted this, I also gave the personal meaning for each color in my mind. The shapes, brush strokes, and movements I use also have the meanings, but these are open for viewers' different interpretations. And then I repeated the same process with another painting, but this time I painted the impression of happiness and positive emotions instead, by using bright colors such as pink, yellow, green, and pastel purple. Similar to the first painting, each color, brushstroke, and shape also have meanings that open for interpretation as well. And here is the final result of my second project. I experimented with different brushstrokes, shapes, lines, and dots in the similar way as in Hodgkin's techniques. But I gave it the meanings that I felt more personal and resonate with myself more than his works, which are mostly British landscapes. So, what do you think about these two projects? How do you feel about it, and how would you interpret it? Do you have similar idea or different ideas from mine, and what would you like to recommend? Please feel free to discuss in class. Thank you.